Hello guys and welcome back to the Mole episode 6, and I gotta say this was another chaotic, crazy and honestly very enthralling episode of the Mole. This series is the best show that you guys are not watching, and if you are watching then you understand why this show is so fantastic from the start of the episode to the end of the episode. Honestly, I am so excited for the finale and I genuinely can't wait. I've seen up until episode 8, but remember, no spoilers on the episode beyond the episode that we're talking about, and I'm not going to be able to watch the finale, so the final 2 episodes, until next Monday. It comes out on Friday, but I'm super busy Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so the earliest I can do it is Monday. So please, do not tell me who wins. Do not tell me any spoilers. Please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. I want to remain as in the dark as possible when it comes to this. But without much further ado, let's get into this video, shall we? So, the last episode ended with the chaotic cliffhanger of, ooh, who got the exemption? Who was the person who bid every single penny of their cash just to get them further in the game? That person was, in fact, Niche. I gotta say, I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed. Am I disappointed? I wouldn't even say I'm disappointed. I'm just not surprised. Because the thing is that if I was in this position and I had done that, I would be so unapologetic. If people were like, how dare you, I'd be like, well, you might not be here in a minute. So, bye-bye. You could be mad at me if I'm still in the next round, if you're still in the next round with me. Because otherwise, bye-bye, you're going home. That's kind of how I felt about the whole situation. I'd be so unapologetic. I'd be like, yeah, think that I'm the mole. Yeah, go on then. I'm just getting further in the game. Yeah, honestly, I don't get the whole sort of vibe that they're like, how dare you? How dare you? It's like they're never going to earn any money again. I will say this group is absolutely horrendous at saving money. It seems like every single time there's a little sort of like, oh, you can spend a little money to gain an advantage. They're like, yes, take all of my cash, all of it, please, just take it. It's gone. It was really funny, but it was such a great moment. And honestly, Niche, you're kind of iconic for just bidding the entire pot. Because I was sitting there with my friend, me and my friend are watching it. That's why it's taking us so long to actually get around to watching it on Monday. But we were sitting there watching it together and we both went, yeah, we'd bid the full amount. We'd have to. Because I'm not being outbid by someone else. Absolutely not. It's an exemption. I want the exemption. That's just the smartest play here. But that being said, it does depend on what happens further on in the game, whether this exemption even matters. But for now, Niche is exempt. So that does bring us on to the next quiz and the next elimination. And unfortunately, the person that was eliminated was Q. Q, I've never ever thought that he was the mole. I mean, there was like a brief flicker of a moment in episode 1 where I was like, maybe. But yeah, I just don't see him being the mole. There are people on this show that I am, if they turn out to be the mole, shocked. Shock and horror. And those two people are Hannah and Diana. Everybody else has it in them to be a mole, apart from Q. I just did not think it was Q. I also am becoming less suspicious of Niche because I feel like this would be such a stupid move to bid all of the money on an exemption if you weren't if you were the mole. If you were the mole, that would be so obvious and it would be ridiculous. I'd be like, what? That's so dumb. What the fuck? But Q has left. But Q came back. And I was like, huh? What do you mean he's coming back? And essentially, the people on the show were given the choice. Do we let him come back? Or do we just send him home again? It was kind of similar to how this happened on the first series with that guy. I can't remember his name. But he came back in a car. And the team had to decide, basically, are we going to let you back in the game or not? No. No. And then he tried to solve the puzzle by himself, but he got it wrong, so he was sent back home. But this time, Q was actually given a rather easy task, I thought. It was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. But it did involve a lot of deception and lying. So, let back in the game. The people who voted to allow him back in the game was Hannah, Diana, and Muna. That's why I think these three are clear on my books. They've got to be clear because each of them were like, yeah, Q brings money to the team, so let's bring Q back. And I was like, I just don't feel like the mole would want to do that. Personally, I feel like the mole is going to say no to this because another player means that there's more chances to build the prize pot, and therefore they don't want that. And lo and behold, the people who voted no were Niche, Ryan, who's one of my suspects, Sean, one of my suspects, Michael, one of my suspects. Surprise, surprise. You're telling me that there isn't a mole in that group? Come on. Come on. I'm pretty sus right now on Ryan and Michael. We'll see whether that changes throughout the episode, but like at that point in time, I was sus on those two because I thought there's actually no disadvantage to bringing Q back into the game, personally, for me. In fact, I think bringing him back into the game, if you are not the mole, is your best play because let's say that you end up in the final 3 with Q. It's you know you're innocent, you know Q's innocent because he was eliminated, so, oh, who's the mole? The other person. It's quite literally a very, very smart strategy to keep Q in the game because you know he is not the mole because he was eliminated. Unless they're like causing a fuckery and they're eliminating him just as like a bants thing. But like, it just frustrated me so much that they couldn't see that strategy of keeping Q around because they know he's innocent. So therefore it lowers their chances lowers their chances of going home, first of all. And it increases their chances of finding the mole because they've got now, out of, I think it was 8 people, there are confirmed 2 innocent people for everybody in there themselves and Q. So therefore, they just need to spread the votes around the other 6 people and focus on them. Oh, it really frustrated me when they didn't get that. But before we move on, the challenge that you had to do is basically, he had to correctly guess the amount of people that said yes and no. And Ryan was lying through his teeth. Not Ryan. Sean was lying through his teeth to Niche. Oh, fuck's sake. Their names are confusing me. Sean was lying through his teeth to Q about saying that, yeah, bro, I wanted you back in the game. Michael also lied. And then Muna was like, straight up, it's this and this. 4 people said no. 3 people said yes. That's your answer. And then gave him the look of like, you better fucking say that. And he was like, okay, and he did it, and he got back into the game. So welcome back, Q. You've been eliminated. But is this a blessing or is it a curse? Because is he now going to start double guessing himself? Is he going to start thinking, okay, the people I put on the last quiz, maybe it's not them? I think that would be a silly strategy, personally. I think you might have just got 1 less than someone else, and that's what ended up getting you eliminated. Who knows at the end of the day? But it is time to go into the main challenge. Let's get talking about it. So the group was cut into 2, Team River and Team Rope, and they essentially had to go into a cave and solve puzzles and then choose the correct idol at the end. It was a fairly easy task. The challenging part was the abseiling with rope and the crawling through tight spaces that was like a little river in a cave. It just looked unpleasant to participate in, but the puzzles were quite easy in my opinion. They seemed to struggle with them. And I got the first 2 within like seconds of looking at the questions, which was kind of frustrating. The third one was a little bit more tricky, but I'll get onto that in a second. So we're going to start with Team River. Diana was struggling. It was a struggle bus getting her through this challenge. She is claustrophobic and she was just not vibing with the atmosphere of the challenge, being in a tight space, being in a cave. It just wasn't working for her. And I completely understand that. It's not my kind of vibe either. People were questioning, like, is she the mole because of this? I don't think so. I think this was genuine. She's too good at these challenges. And so far, we haven't visibly seen her sabotage anything or be the thing that caused something to go wrong. So, I don't know. I just feel like Diana's clear in my books. And the struggle is, the closer we get to the final, the more I'm like, could it be Diana? And I'm just really, really thick. But for now, I'm dead set on it not being her. Muna solved puzzle 1 quite quickly. Q worked out puzzle 2 quite quickly. And then, surprise, surprise, Sean misled the group on puzzle 3 and was like, it's 36 squares. But it was actually 40 squares. And me and my friend were sitting there and we were like, oh, this is tough because we've got 30, I think we worked out we got 36. And then we were like, but surely it's not 36. Surely there's more squares that we've missed. And we did miss 4 squares, which was kind of embarrassing. But it is what it is. So essentially that gave them a 50-50 chance of winning at the end. And Muna and Dina wanted to pick the tiger idol, which would make sense. They're in Malaysia. Malaysia has tigers. But Sean wanted to pick the bird one. Again, trying to mislead the group to the wrong decision because the correct idol was the tiger. I don't know what it is about Sean, man, but he's giving me Bookie vibes. Bookie. I just don't believe he's as innocent as he's making out to be. And that's what's frustrating currently, is because I just don't trust him at all. Like, at all. So, I don't know. I'm trying to work out whether that is a fair assessment, that he is just misleading the group on purpose. But, like, I just don't know. This is the issue. I don't know. So, moving on to Team Rope. Hannah solved puzzle 1. Niche somehow managed to botch up puzzle 2. I was really frustrated because I was like, and it really annoyed me because, like, it was such an easy one, and I'm just shocked that nobody noticed it, that it was just mirrored numbers to make shapes. Then Ryan passed puzzle number 3, and so they also had a 50-50 shot of winning at the end. Do I think Niche botching the second puzzle was guilty or, like, mole-ish behaviour? Kind of, but, like, I just don't think that it's Niche that much, just because of the exemption. The fact that he spent the whole pot on the exemption screams that he's not a mole to me. That's just how I feel. So Hannah and Ryan both wanted to pick the fish, but Niche wanted to go tiger. So they went for the fish, and obviously it was the tiger. So Hannah and Ryan misled. But the sus is on Ryan for me, because it felt like Hannah was like, I think it might be the fish, and Ryan was like, yeah, it's the fish, it's the fish. And it was like, that's a little bit strange and a little bit odd. So, yeah, lots of booky behaviour here, lots of dodginess happening, but, like, they made it out with, I think, 10 grand. They're not doing very well on these challenges, I gotta be honest. These challenges look really, really fun to do, but also, they're just so shit at earning money. And I can guarantee you, at the start of next episode, it's gonna be like, so you can lose all of this money right here if you want some sweets. And they're gonna be like, oh my god, yes, we want the sweets. Let's spend all of our money on the sweets. Oh, so ridiculous, so annoying. So yeah, that was the challenge. Let's move on to the next elimination. 2 eliminations in 1 episode. Yep, that's right. Q was the person to go home again. Oh god. I think what happened is he came back, he started second guessing himself, and then he was like, rah, I actually don't know who it is. And then he ends up going home. It sucks and it's a shame, but it is what it is. There's not really much you can do about it. It's a shame, it really is, because I thought Q was going to stick around for a bit longer. But the core 7 that we've got, I'm really bonding with them now. I really like them. It's going to be tough to see any of them go home now. And I'm going to be shocked if any of them go home. Like, it's going to be like Hannah will pull out of her thing green, and then Ryan will pull it out and it's red, and I'll be like, huh? Because, like, currently, my main suspicions are Ryan and Sean. Those two. Sean less so, because I feel like he's being too obvious with it. But Ryan's just doing sneaky spy shit that is just not sitting well with me. Like, there's just actions that she takes and things that she says that just leave me with a bad taste in my mouth and made me go, could you be the mole? I think Michael is another possibility. I don't believe it's the other guys. I don't believe it's the other 4, personally. I think it's one of those 3. If it's Muna, I'll be surprised, but I won't be shocked. If you get what I mean. I'll be like, oh, Okay, fair enough. That makes sense. But like, I feel like Muna's too team money currently. She's far too team money. And I just don't believe that she is the mole. I know some of you guys do, but I just don't think she is. So that is all we've got time for today. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and make sure to like, comment and subscribe, doing all of those YouTube stuffs that you guys do so well. But without much further ado, I'm going to end that there, and we are going to crack on with another video. I'm going to record a Dance Moms video right now, so that'll be up on Friday if you're watching this as it's meant to come out on Thursday. So it'll be out tomorrow. Fantastic. Right. I will see you guys later. Keep on ranting. Bye now.